today as we start on this session on is walking an exercise or is it going to actually put you into peril? So first thing I would like to say is don't believe a word that I'm going to say. Yes, you heard it right. Do not believe even what we at Digital Fitness Hub are going to say. Do not believe a word until you use your common sense. Until you use your common sense. So please challenge every word that has been told. You will have a lot of resistances because this topic is only so volatile that once we start sharing this, the first thing will happen is resistance. Maybe within your own self first, and even if you have your own answers right, you will always find these resistances happening with the other people, right? So are you ready to take up this challenge of going through the resistances first? If yes, show me a thumbs up, everybody. Okay, digital or physical. Are you ready to take up these resistances? Thank you so much. Reason is simple. We are gathered here to take this very topic of walking. Is it even an exercise or what is it all about? We are starting a movement here at Digital Fitness Hub to bring reality and truth, which is based on science, which is based on research, common sense applied, and your own primary experiences. Still doing the 10,000 steps every day? That might be the reason you are not losing fat. Walking raises cortisol levels, weakens muscles and shrinks bone density over time. You are not getting healthier by walking, my dear friends. You are just walking in circles. Join this movement with Digital Fitness Hub that is going to challenge the myth of walking. Discover the real path to fitness, and DFH challenge starts now. Why walking may be the slowest way to die. Got it? So this is going to be the topic. I want you to listen to the statistics, whatever I'm going to present, and then we will have the session open. And it's not going to be just one day session. It's going to be a series of this. Because if you want to make a change in anything, you need to ensure that you go and test every doubt of yourself. Forget about the rest of the world. Are you ready to do that, everybody? Ready to take up this challenge and learn a little bit? Okay, we are going to go with science first. Always go with science-backed knowledge. What does science have to say about walking? Walking increases cortisol over time due to repetitive stress. And this has been administered by many a times by people to take up walking as an exercise. How does walking become dangerous? First thing is, when you walking and cortisol, what is the research show? Long duration of low intensity walking can raise cortisol levels. Walking for extended periods, especially over 60 minutes, can increase cortisol levels as the body perceives it as a low grade persistent stressor. Studies have had it that athletes who are doing extended aerobic training, including walking, showed chronically elevated cortisol and reduced testosterone and cortisol ratio. This is as per the European Journal Applied Physiology, which was published in 1995. This is what will happen in case if your bodies have got higher cortisol level. Your blood sugar, you will have higher levels of blood sugar. You will have all that you have to attract for your cardiovascular diseases. Your immune system gets weakened. Your anxiety, depression and headaches will start increasing. You will see a high blood pressure and you will also have digestive issues, including nervous problems. So what happens here is walking. Okay, walking is not enough. In fact, it could be hurting your health. How? It leads to shortened muscles, poor mobility and muscle atrophy. Now, if you see walkers who are doing, if you see the physiology, we'll come back to that. How does a body of a walking person look? Chronic cortisol dominance leads to muscle breakdown, insulin resistance and adrenaline fatigue. And in this picture, you can see what is a normal muscle and what is an atrophied muscle, which is muscle atrophy is wasting away muscle tissue. This is how your muscles will look. And if you see people who resort to walking, their hands and legs are thinner and their abdominal will never get thin. Have you noticed that with people who walk? They lose weight on their arms and legs and they will never lose weight on their abdominals. This is something, a symptom which is dangerous. Symptoms include decrease in muscle mass, one limb being smaller than the other, numbness, weakness, and tingling in the limbs. This is what happens while you do walking as an exercise. It will also reduce blood flow and efficiency, fatigue, and stagnation. Walking as repetitive daily patterns without variation is equals to chronic stress. According to research, repetitive stress without recovery, even in light forms like long habitual walks, contributes to flattened diurnal cortisol rhythms, which is medically used, which will result in fatigue, weight gain, and emotional imbalance. And this is how the body of a walker looks like. Watch this picture. Even if a person has lost weight, the abdominal will always remain heavier. The right side should be the right way to look. And in case if you have seen, most of the people, 9 out of 10 people who resort to walking as an exercise will have this body form. Okay, I'll just like to show it here as well. This is the body form of a walker. पेट वही के वही रह जाता है और हाथ पाँव they get flattened out. And this is what is the perils of walking, my dear friends. So please understand, do not walk. Again we are shouting, do not walk to resort to as an exercise. It could lead you to lose your life. Okay, this also leads to, okay, this is a way I'm gathered here in a beautiful place where this has been used predominantly for walking, and I might be that insane person. The next thing that happen is I'll be running and people are behind me. I do not fear that. Okay, it could lead to something known as sarcopenia and osteoporosis. What has happened in this is, okay, sarcopenia, okay, I might be spelling it a little wrong. Sarcopenia is characterized by loss of muscle mass. Strength is strongly associated with the risk of osteoporosis, the condition of weakened bones. Individuals with sarcopenia have higher likelihood of having osteoporosis. Furthermore, combination of sarcopenia and osteoporosis known as okay, you can read it out here. Osteosarcopenia can significantly worsen physical function, mobility, and the risk of falling and fractures. Now, I would like to ask, how many of you have heard in your families, thoda sa gir gaya and they fractured their hip bones and especially their spines? I've seen this just recently with my own relative. Walking as an exercise, just a small fall in the kitchen and rupturing the spinal cord. Have you seen this honestly happening around you? Did you check whoever had this problem? Most of the times they were walking. And this is what walking can do to a person. Why does this happen? Why walking can be not a very significant way of exercising is, well, your human body is made up of 206 bones, 360 joints, 650 muscles. This is what school level science has to teach. We have forgotten. By walking on a daily basis, you are working the same muscles, the same joints, which will be negatively used for your own self. While you had so many other ways of your physicality, this is exactly what we would like to bring in today's session, that walking can be dangerous. So please understand and share this knowledge with your family and friends. What happens is, just to start a physical fitness, many a times it has been promoted that start walking 10,000 steps, start walking 5,000 steps. And this is exactly what you will take your body into. You will be taking yourself to a point of no return. So please understand, the third part of today's session was, we ask you to walk differently. Even if you had to resort to walking, there was different ways of walking, my dear friends.